Hi, Anthony. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are
Mhm.
you?
Not too bad. Thank you for asking. I understand that you're here today to talk a little bit about maybe some diet changes.
hmm
Do you care to tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I know I talked to the PCP about this, and we kind of had a discussion about my weight, and he said I was overweight, and I've always struggled with my weight. I think that uh, I don't know. I'm just really busy, so sometimes it's easier to like just grab something on the way home instead of cooking because that can take an hour and a half. And sometimes I don't feel as good um, afterwards, but um, I don't know. I always wanted to change my diet, so I see the cons and pros of both, I guess. So
Okay. Well, I can certainly understand, having a busy lifestyle and, it definitely is easier to grab some fast food on the way home in that. And you mentioned, not feeling as great when you have some of that food. Does that ever change like your motivation factor to eat something at home as opposed to grabbing that fast food?
I guess the food, eating fast food, I don't know, it just makes me feel bad about myself. So I guess in that aspect, it makes me want to change. And when I save money and cook at home, the aspect of saving money makes me feel good about myself. But sometimes, um, I don't have as much time to do, paperwork at home that I could be doing, or spending time with my partner or something like that.
Sure. So you mentioned having a busy lifestyle as well that sometimes kind of gets in the way. Can you tell me a little bit more about the busy lifestyle?
Yeah, so I'm a full-time student and I have a part-time job, and I am in classes usually 5 days a week, 9 to 5 roughly, and then I have a 20-hour part-time job on top of that. So sometimes I just feel exhausted and I don't really want to come home and spend an hour cooking.
Well, it's definitely admirable, going to school and working, and I can definitely understand not wanting to come home and, cook a full meal and stuff on top of working all those hours and doing schoolwork. So you mentioned, having talking with your PCP before about, weight changes and that. Do you agree with the concerns with the PCP about their weight concerns?
I'm back and forth on it. I really, like I said before, I've always struggled with my weight. I've always wanted to be thinner. I work out. I do cardio like 4 times a week, maybe five if I'm on top of things. And I kind of use that as an excuse to offset the feeling that I feel when I eat fast food, like the bad feeling. But if I work out, then I usually feel better about myself, and that usually helps. Um, so it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like back and forth, I guess.
Okay.
That makes sense.
It does, definitely. So with it, and you said, you kind of have that back and forth feeling, you kind of do the workout, but then we have some of that fast food and we kind of have that the good feeling from the working out, but then the bad feeling from eating the fast food. Right now, where is your kind of readiness or your willingness if you had to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, like ready to start a diet today, where do you think you are on that readiness scale from 1 to 10 about ready to start maybe not necessarily a diet, but ready to start a change towards getting healthier?
On a scale of 1 to 10,
Mm-hmm.
um, I guess if 10 were like, absolutely, let's do this thing, let's start today, I'd probably be at a 6, 7, maybe.
Okay. So what
Um,
made you rate yourself at a 6 as opposed to maybe an 8 or a 9?
it's just really the time commitment. Like, I would love to better myself by eating healthier. But I mean, do I also just like money, I guess? Like, money, healthy foods are expensive, and they're time consuming to cook. So, really setting aside that time out of my schedule instead of doing self care or, stuff like that to actually commit to eating a diet. So,
Yeah, and I think that you bring up some very valid points. It is setting extra time aside that you're not having in your schedule right now. It's, also involving money control and stuff that maybe you're not budgeting in right now because it can get expensive, creating for food in there instead of just, grabbing maybe something from a fast food restaurant that's, 99 cents instead of getting something that you have to prepare, that might cost you $10. So definitely it's understandable what you're saying. What do you think you would need as far as supports that if you were to start considering doing a diet or a diet plan, what do you think you would need to help keep you on track?
I've always liked support. I think support's really important in like any lifestyle change, I guess. And I guess having a coach. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Not like a coach in traditional like sports football kind of way, but like someone that will like I don't know, it's so difficult. Like someone that will be able to let me know when I'm struggling or like make me feel better when I'm struggling or just really kick me in the ass when I need to.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. It's like your own personal cheerleader, somebody who
Yeah.
keeps you going on the right track. And, I think that that's really important. And support is definitely any life change, like you mentioned. That's definitely important. You need that support and encouragement, especially in the times that it gets tough when you're ready to give up. You need somebody to help say, it's okay, we've got this, keep going. So I just wanted to thank you so much for sharing that information today. And I think that you are definitely, on the right track, and that when you're ready for those changes, we'll be here to do that together. And so I think, when we come in for next session, we've got a lot more to talk about. So I'd like to thank you for coming in today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Okay, now we can talk about how you did. I think you did really well. You like on this sheet, like I have, that you did a wide variety of things. Probably the thing you did least was ask close-ended questions, but those are kind of hard to ask sometimes because you want to like get more information from the client. But you did really good at like listening to the client and then just like asking them what they meant if you needed more clarification, as well as just showing them that you know what the client meant. And then you also did a really good job throughout the session, like complimenting the client, which is really important because that helps them feel empowered, even if they're not fully ready to make a change. Still hearing that is like, maybe like I should make a change and not hold back. So I think you did really well. I really have nothing that you need to work on. You allowed the client to talk, and yeah, I think you did really well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you also did really well. Even though I wasn't the coder, but I just felt like you did really well.
Thanks.